Hi there, welcome back to Overy Gardens. Now today I'm going to show you very quickly how to divide your herbaceous perennials. Now there's a couple of reasons why you would want to do this, particularly at this time of year, so we're in October now. The main reason is herbaceous plants like this Rebeckia here, when they grow, they tend to grow outwards, and what will happen is you'll get a very dense cluster of flowers around the outside of the crown of the plant, leaving the middle of the plant quite bare. It's quite an easy way to rectify this. Every 2 or 3 years, what you'll want to do is to lift your plant. So this is the Rebeckia here that I've previously lifted. You can see here I've got a good root ball. It's quite a dense, thick cluster of plants here, and it's quite a simple thing to do because what you'll do is you'll get 3 or 4 extra plants from one clump, and so it's a really good way of propagating. So you'll get much more plants for much less money. So rather than going out and buying a new plant, you can split up what you've already got and then you can spread it around the garden even more. Another good reason to do this is it's to thin out your plant. So as I said, if plants get too clustered and too clumped together, it can affect their flowering capacity. So you want to lift them out, and once they're lifted, you can then split them up and move those clumps around, and those newly planted clumps will then proliferate and then grow more, and then you can repeat the process in 2 or 3 years time down the line there as well. So it's a really easy way to propagate. So step 1 is to, like I said, dig out your plant, which I've done here. I'm now going to cut it back because what you don't want is lots of leaves and active growth, which will take out a lot of energy from the roots, because this plant is still in growth. Although it is October, it's still active, and so what you want to do is minimize the stress on the roots. So I'm going to cut back all the straggly bits of foliage. So now I've got this crown of the plant, and I can see now where I'm going to be splitting. When it comes to splitting, it can be quite scary, but don't worry, it's a very resilient plant, herbaceous perennials. These are plants, the herbaceous plants are the ones that will die back in winter, and then in the springtime they'll come back into growth every year. So they come back each year, and so they are quite hardy and resilient to this type of treatment. There are 2 ways to do it. I've got a spade here, but you can get a fork, and what you can do is get 2 forks, put them both in, prise the plant apart. That works on most perennials, but with this Rebeckia, again, because it's such a big crown of a plant, a spade will do, and it's going to look quite drastic, but I'm going to choose where on the plant I want to split it, put my spade in, just hold it with my foot, come in and prise it away. And what I have now is 2 plants. Now this one can even be split up again, because what you'll get if you do it again, same process, just come in with the spade. I've now got a lovely small plant here, and if I plant it, it will establish, the roots will get into the ground before the winter time, and then it will really set it off for a good start in the spring. So dividing your perennials, really good way to multiply your stock. October's a really good time to do it. As I've mentioned, if you plant these now, they've got the rest of the autumn to get their roots in, to establish, so they can settle down over the autumn and into the winter. And in the spring, they've already set themselves with a nice strong root structure to grow and flower next year. You can also do this in the springtime, just before they come into growth, or any time during the winter. And again, the benefits are just the same if you do it in the winter or in the spring. It enables you to multiply your crop, and also it means that you can spread out your plants more evenly and distribute them to other areas of the garden. So dividing your perennials looks drastic, but it's really worth doing. So give it a go if you have some herbaceous perennials which are looking a little bit too full and a little bit too congested.